six different applications, 6 different transactions. If you remember last time, I was demonstrating creating new customary land right, which can be done through the ZCLAS as well. So today I'll show you the rest of the things. Let me just open it up and share my screen. Which one? This one.
Perfect. Yep, I am going to record this.
For actually, let me maybe share. Let me share the whole desktop, because I guess there will be some pop-ups, so that you need to see them as well. Right. So this is the system. You remember it. We log in. I'm logging on the super user.
I think we're seeing your other desktop, maybe.
Sharing is paused.
No, is it?
Why is it? What should I do? Stop sharing. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It says I need to go back on the menu, on the screen. You see the Teams screen now?
Yeah, I just see the Teams screen.
Okay, that's weird. Let me try again. I was selecting desktop, actually. Can you see now?
There we go. Yep, perfect.
Okay. So this is our login screen. We log in here, and the dashboard shows us applications which are currently in the process, and relevant to you based on your permissions in the system, and of course the status of the application. So if application is completely finished, it will disappear from the dashboard, from everywhere. I mean, from everyone, but will be available through the search, application search. So maybe quickly let's do new parcel, just to refresh. I will not talk too much about it, but just to see how it goes from the creation and then to transfer and other transactions. So this is the screen for new application, and we select Chief DOM first. Based on your permissions, you may have access to multiple Chief DOMs or only one Chief DOM. So that can be configured in the system. And then I can either search for existing, but considering that this is new customary land right, typically I should be creating new applicant, new person, because in most of the cases, probably it's a new person in the database and you don't need to search it. But yeah, search option is still there. And as we discussed last time, we allow selection from people with ID number. So if ID number is available, you will be able to pick up this person to make sure that you are picking the right person, right? Right. So not just based on name, but also based on ID. So let me pick this Sam Smith, maybe, as an applicant. It attaches it on the application, and this is the minimum I have to do. I can also attach documents relevant to this specific transaction, but I just save it. So green label means it's okay. It is already saved. Application number is generated. And this is first workflow step, application drafting. I can still do editing or even delete the application because the processing is not started yet. But if everything is fine, I just click complete button and say OK. So now it jumps to the next step, which is preparation of changes, we call it. And here you have to create, basically, you can still edit the application and you can complete it. But if you try and complete, you'll get error message saying that the land parcel should be created under this application. So this is how you do it by clicking Edit Map button. It will take you to the map control. This is, by the way, I should probably add on your demo server as well. Now you see I'm showing the boundary of the chief DOMs. So this layer, I can turn it off, turn it on. So this is just to help you to locate your, at least to locate the chief DOM. Yeah. Other layers can be published as well, like villages. If you have a village boundary, you can publish it as well through the geo server and then connect it to the ZCLAS through the administration part. So let me find my parcels. So I've got some parcels already here. So I did some experiments. You can see that this kind of gray color, it means historic. So all these parcels now in the history, but let me just create a new one somewhere next to it.
And can I ask, are those sure. Parcels in the database, or is that in the geo server?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So those cases where we do splitting, merging, also where we do termination, and also the history will be generated for the parcels where we do what we call rectification. And rectification is done to the parcel itself, typically to the boundary. And then the previous one will go into the history. This is what I'm going to show you in this demo. So let me just draw some polygon next to these parcels, maybe next to this one. Actually, this one is historic. Let me try to put it next to this green one, showing it, I don't know, like this shape, some shape. And I'm providing parcel number, land use, land cover optional, the date of survey, type of survey, surveyor name, Mike, and village. So this is how we create new parcel, and we have to save. If we don't click save, it will lose all the changes. So green message again indicates that changes are saved to the database. So we go back to the application form. And now we can basically see that edit tenure button also appeared because we now created a parcel, and now we can record tenure rights to this parcel. So let's click. Oh, great. Sorry. That was not tested after I implemented rectification, so I guess it have to be corrected. Don't think it will open it now. So okay, that's a bug. But you remember how we produce this new registration? So I will definitely fix this parcel form. But let me just maybe show you quickly. Search, and if I search for registered and open one of the registered, what I wanted to show you, what I didn't demonstrate last time, is about certificate. So in the workflow, when you're registering a new customary land right, after capturing tenure rights and after validating it, approving it, in the application form, next step will be printing a certificate. And you can print it from the application form and then complete application. Alternatively, the system allows you also to print a certificate afterwards. So once it is all done, but maybe a person lost the certificate or it was damaged or for any other reason, you can always go back on the system, search for the parcel and print a certificate. So this is helpful, and print certificate button is available again to only users with this permission. So it's not available to everyone. It will be available only to the user who is assigned to print a certificate. So let me just show you a certificate. I hope it works, at least the certificate itself. So this is our certificate. I was trying to implement it exactly as it is in the template you provided me. So basically same information, the owner and also the boundary of chiefdom, and this red dot shows the location of this parcel in the chiefdom, and then down below we have parcel diagram with scale, with UTM zone, and also these logos, they are not static, they are also managed through the system. So when you creating or editing chief DOMs, you can provide these logos. So this is annex, the backside or annex of this certificate. It's also based on the template you provided me. So there are no person of interest. That's why this part is empty. Yeah, but then down below there is this small text. And as we discussed in the beginning, this small text is also customizable.
Yeah.
So you can change it in the Chief DOM settings, these two things. And then if you don't provide it, then this text will be used by default.
Okay.
So if it's empty, you don't need to provide it. I mean, if it's like a default one. So this is our certificate automatically generated. So now let's, since this is active parcel with registered tenure rights, let's, I'm just hoping that transfer will work. Let's see the transfer. Transfer. Okay. So now what I can do, I can, okay, let me pick up the village first. So I can search for the person again. And I think the parcel ID was 222333. So let me see. There are multiple people probably. I think the owner is this Maria. So if I pick up this Maria, so the system automatically inserts her parcel. So you cannot really mess it up because, I mean, you can of course remove this parcel and search manually. But if you do like that, by default, the system will really help you with selecting the right parcel. If there are multiple parcels, you will be able to select from these multiple parcels. So let me maybe try if we have any other person. If I open this search again, so this guy has a lot of parcels. So now you see there is a selection window. And then you can pick up, yeah, parcel not found. Great, great. That have to be tested. It's probably historic one. So let me remove this mile and go back to Maria. So for the transfer form, as I said, apart from the applicant, you have to provide land parcel itself. You can do it through the applicant, or you can actually remove and search for this parcel as well. Right. And then all the rest is the same, like documents, all these things. So let's save it and complete this first step for application drafting. And let's see if this parcel form will be able to open. Yes, so this one is opening, so I don't know why first one it was not working. So the next step, when we actually should record the new owner, so we do it through this tenure button, edit tenure, and it takes you to the parcel form and it shows you registered rights. You see this customary land right has registered status, and there is a link to transfer it. Yeah. So we click transfer, and basically this is like customary land right form under the parcel. And this is the same as we did last time for the new customary land right. So you basically select the occupancy type, acquisition type, certification date is probably not needed at this moment. And also witnesses, they can be provided or you can skip it. So really up to you.
Okay.
Now you have to provide new owner. Again, you can do these three options available. One is creating new, then searching for existing, and copying from application. But since the owner is applying for this transfer, most probably you shouldn't be copying it from the application. So you should either search or add new person. So let's add maybe new person. I'm selecting landowner role and then Salem. Type of ID, number, date of birth, let's say 80, gender, citizenship, this is optional, but let's provide it. And then we can select from existing address list, Chikwa and village, something like that. So photo is not critical. So I'm creating new guy. I can also attach documents. So if there is like a deed or this deed was attached to the application, you can copy from application. This is what I was telling you last time. It's really, you have to decide what should go to the land right and what can stay with application. So I guess whatever is relevant to the land right itself, it's probably better to attach on the customary land right record. Rather than just keeping it on the application. But initially it can be attached to the application. Right, so I click save and it takes me back to the parcel form. And now you see in the table, I've got two records. One is registered and one is pending. So this new one is pending and I can still either delete it or make changes by clicking edit button. But if it's okay, I just click save again. And it is now in the database. So I go back to my application. And I'm ready to complete this step because I made changes to the land record. So I click complete. Okay. Now this is review and validation step. This is where I can make review of these modifications. So basically I can click on the parcel and review what was attached. So I can see that one is pending.
So typically be a different user, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So you can go to this pending and verify whether everything is okay, that a right person is attached and I don't know, right occupancy type is selected, maybe checking documents. And then you can go back on the application. By the way, to go back on the application, as I said, everything is linked. So you can see that this customary land right was created through this application. So I can just click this link and it will take me back to my transfer application. So after reviewing and validating, I just confirm it that it's okay. Yep.
Can you look at the land parcel real quick?
Land parcel. Oh, by the way, I did a small change from last time on the land parcel form. I didn't show you. There is a map tab now. So you don't need to search it through the map control, like on the main menu.
Right.
You can see everything in one form. So you can see tenure rights and you can see the parcel itself. And of course, this is attributes under the general. This is the attributes of the parcel. This is also reference to the application, how this parcel was created for the first time. So full information is available in the parcel form now.
Yep.
So.
Okay. And in that map function, then on the right, there is snapping as well and all that, or?
Yeah. But this is for viewing. This is only viewing. So when you're creating or modifying parcel, there will be editing tools.
Right, because this was just a transfer.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is just a transfer. So let's see. Let me complete this validation step. Okay. And now I'm ready almost for the final step. I should take a decision either to approve or reject it.
Yeah.
So I definitely approve it. And now it is approved. And this is what I was trying to show you with the first application. You see right now you have print certificate button. And actually the workflow step is print certificate. Yeah,
that's misspelled up there, but that's all right. There's a missing I in printing there.
Exactly.
No.
Good point. So if I print now, so it used to be Maria, but if I print now this certificate, I should see a new owner. Yeah. So now is this Salim something.
Mm-hmm.
So this is new owner now. So last step is just basically to print a certificate, hand it over, and complete the application.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, this is for printing, I guess, only. And then I think we have last step, which is just when you handing over the certificate, and then you can say, okay, it's fully done. But you see, no editing is available. It's just a matter of workflow, just to know where the application now at which stage. And as you said, it's different users, so it's moving from maybe even physically moving from one office to another office, from chiefdom level to village level, or depending how you will decide it. So this is just to complete it and say okay. Now it's done. There is no workflow step. There is no buttons here. It's fully completed, but you can see what happened. So you can either click on the land parcel from here, or you can also check in this tab. Is basically referring same parcel, saying that it was modified. So if I open it, now you see we've got two tables populated. One is registered and one is historic. So Maria now is in the history, and this new guy is now having registered status. So this is how you can easily track the history of your rights. And as I said, you can drill down and see more information. For instance, you can drill down to Maria and see what was with Maria, and there is a reference also useful. You can see that this customary land right was created through this application. So if you need more information, you just click on that one. And you can also see that finally it was terminated by this application. So you have full chain, like when was it created, through which application it was created, and how it was finally made historic.
Okay.
And also log is showing you about the same dates when it happened. You see, like made historic by super user on this date and time.
So just a quick question, that parcel becomes a historic parcel when it's transferred?
No. It's you see the hierarchy is like that. The parcel is on the top, and on the parcel you may have multiple rights. At the moment we are only registering and managing customary land rights, but even customary land rights, because of transfers and modifications, if you want to track the history and full information, we have to keep it also as multiple records. So it's one too many. So parcel to the land rights is one too many. The parcel stays active, so the status of parcel is active. It's all good. It's just a new owner.
Yeah, I was just looking at what the log said. So when just looking at that log, maybe it's the parcel log. I think it said, or yeah, it could be there. I don't know. Made historic. Okay. Yeah. So that customary land right is made historic.
It's a customary land right.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
So I'm checking the what was before. I'm checking about this Maria, about her right, and when it was done and through which application. Yep. So as I said, all these links they will take you. Maybe changing these forms may confuse it, but you just look at you just look at the header and read what is written in the header. So this is parcel form, but if you drill down, it's already under the parcel. It's a customary land right, and if you jump to the application, it will take you to the application itself. Oh, it was done. You see, it was done through the parcel division, for instance.
Okay. Yeah, probably just takes getting used to.
Yeah. So, so you see, this Maria your land rights were registered through the subdivision. So this is what I'm hoping to show you as well, if it works, because I'm a bit worried with new parcels when we tried first time. So it could be same issue with subdivision and merging multiple parcels. So this is transfer. So transferring will create a history for you, showing all the details, and also the registered one will be always reflected if you click print certificate button. So this is how you do transfers. Next is let's try and make subdivision, which is kind of more complicated transaction. So initially we were discussing, basically you can be flexible here as well, and it depends how you're going to, basically you should make a decision how you want to make subdivision or merging. There are two ways. One is doing it through this specific application like parcel division or subdivision. Yeah.
Yep.
And second option, you can do it in two steps. Yep. Like one, you can terminate.
Yep.
And then you can create new. Yeah. So it depends how you want it. But doing it through this type of application, it would be kind of more reliable because it's like one big transaction. So at the end, when you click approve button, it will
make all changes.
Yeah, it will make all the changes. So it will make subdivided parcel historic together with rights, and it will make new parcels as newly registered. And I mean, it's not possible, to have any gap in between, like the parcel was made historic, but new rights were not registered. Yeah. So this is what makes it different from the approach where you have two transactions. So let's find again this person. So it picks up land parcel for him and save. Let's see if it works now for subdivision.
And sorry, so there was also an option just to search for land parcel, right?
Yeah. You can also search for land parcel. That's correct. But initially we were discussing that we search for parcel and insert applicant, but then I said maybe it will be more logical if you search for the applicant, and then it will allow you to pick up a parcel. If it's only one, it will select it automatically. If it's multiple, it will ask you for the choice, which one you want to use.
Right. I mean, I guess, it's not a funny thing here, but when I think of an applicant, I guess we just need to make it clear that it's the person whose right is currently being changed, not the person who, wants. I mean,
we can introduce some strict rules, but I just don't know what could be the different cases. For instance, that sometimes, an attorney can apply for you, for instance. So that's why.
Well, that's
that's
fine.
But system definitely assists you in selecting this correct parcel number, although you can still change it. So right, let's start with subdivision. As you see, edit map button is available again for this transaction. So I click edit map and it takes me to the map. And where is my parcel now? No, it's funny. What was the number? It's probably, no, that's weird.
Is it not that 111222 there, or is it, or the two?
It was different one. It was 222333.
Yeah.
Let's open it up and see on the map. Yeah, it's there. It's actually this
one. It's being shown as historic.
Yeah. With this story with historic and other things. Right now, I'm showing it as one layer. You see?
Yep.
And maybe it makes more sense to split it into different layers, like historic layer, active layer, pending layer, or at least historic should be split from these two, you know, because history can be done multiple times in the same location.
Yeah.
And that's why it could be overlapping and confusing. So maybe in the geo server, we should split these different statuses so that at least you can, on your map control, at least you can turn it off and on. For instance, if we would have now historic layer separately, we could just turn it off and then it will disappear. But I see that the parcel is there. I don't know why it's not highlighting it from the application. Let me try again. Yeah, so that should be this one.
Yeah.
But you see this historic boundary is because, yeah, that's weird. Let me, no, it's not picking up. It should be, it's actually zooms into the right location.
Correct.
But I don't know why it's not showing the boundary itself. No. This is weird. Yeah,
right.
Looks like it have to be tested, but let me try and still split it. There is no much control over the splitting. I mean, I'm not trying to control to match the previous boundary because I don't know, because of I don't think we have very accurate boundaries. So maybe while splitting, there will be, well, I'm splitting on the screen, but you will be bringing it from the field, maybe. And it may not match 100% on the old boundary. That's why there is no such control. But let me try and split and see if it works. Although I don't see parcel boundary, the previous one. So let's see if it will work. Oh, village, yeah. So because it's a split transaction, I'm actually still able to create more polygons. So if it's a new registration or if it's merging, only one polygon is allowed. But with split transaction, I can do it as multiple. So it could be 2 or even 3 polygons. So let me take this shape so that we can see at least the difference. Okay, let's keep same info. So where and save. So it looks like it is saved now. So let me just open a map again. Yeah, at least I can see. Well, actually, I think it was correct behavior, I guess, because it takes me to the parcel, to the old parcel boundary. It was a bit confusing that it shows historic, but
it just immediately made it historic.
Yeah. So actually, ideally, if it would be, let's say, like this yellow one, yeah, I could just clearly see that, okay, this is the boundary and this is where I start splitting. So that's not it's not a bug, actually, it's a correct one. So it just takes me to the area where I'm supposed to create, split my land parcel. And this layer actually should be helping me, but it was confusing because of historic boundaries. In fact, it should be green boundary, but you see, I think that green is still there, but it's overlaid with historic color.
Could be.
So that's why I'm saying that historic layer should be made as a separate layer, because otherwise it could be like confusing. You see,
right? But there's
before,
you
you see,
can't
before I was
snap to it though or anything, can you?
Yeah, I think before there was like two parcels, then I merged them and it became all historic, and then I created new one, and this new one is actually there, but this layer is not showing it well because it was done exactly on the same boundary.
Right.
And of
But
course,
weren't you supposed to be able to edit still then? Like it
not
should have picked up.
you know what you could do actually. Let me show you. Actually, the way you had to do, basically, let's say we solved this issue with historic boundary. So that was my, I think, original parcel. This one, right? So I'm always matching it now with new ones. So what you could do actually is to use these snapping things. You see? So, and select your parcel which you want to split. So if I click on it, you see that was the boundary actually.
Okay, so it is there.
Yeah.
There's something there.
So that have to be improved definitely to make sure that, yeah, to make sure that you pick up the right parcel, because if you click historic, yeah, you see it, you can also pick up historic. So it just highlights one parcel at a time.
Yeah.
Which means if it was merging of these two parcels, for instance, this one you will not be able to select. You see, it's selecting the big one. So I should probably give some preference to the registered one. Or maybe there should be a selection if there are multiple parcels in one location. Maybe there should be a small pop-up to select which one you want to actually use for snapping. Yeah.
Sure.
So this is how you had to do it. You had to click on existing parcel which you want to split, and then it will provide you with snapping features. So you could then exactly use existing points to snap to those points, and not only points but also segments as well. So you could snap even into the middle of the segment for splitting. You see?
Okay. Yep.
So that was a bit confusion with styling. Otherwise, yeah, snapping. Let me just show you, for instance, if I pull this vertex close to this one, it will be snapping, you see.
Okay.
And also you can put it on the segment as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that will definitely assist you with snapping. Yeah, sorry, that was actually correct. That's not a bug. I just need to improve this layers. Yeah, to show history separately, and also when selecting parcels for snapping, I think I should give a priority to the registered one. Yeah, because we typically will be splitting or merging the active parcels, right? We are not too much interested in historic for snapping.
Presumably, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So let me just go back then on application. I don't want to save changes. Cancel. So let's see if tenure or parcel form works now, because I created two new parcels, and under affected objects, you will be able to see it. You see? Two parcels are created, and I can even open it. So no rights are registered. Status is still pending. And if I check the map, I'll see my one of the parcels highlighted, which I'm creating through this transaction. So let's see if tenure form works. Yeah. So now you see, since I've created two parcels, the system asked me for which one you want to capture customary land rights.
Yeah.
So let's pick first. And then it works similar to the new registration because you just click add new right, and same form as we've seen previously. Let's say it was, I don't know, gifted. And let me just pick up one of the existing people so that we save time on creating new one. So this guy having a lot of parcels already. And save. So this is all you have to do. Save and go back on application. Now, I hope that the system will control me if I want to complete application. It will give me the error saying that not all parcels have customary land rights recorded. So you cannot skip it. You have to click this button again, but this time we're selecting second parcel. And we do the same for the second parcel. We're registering new customary land right, also gifted. And we say, oh, actually, the second part you can keep for yourself, by the way. Acquisition type, I don't know, not listed. So actually, I keep it for myself. Save and save. So now, if we go back on application and complete it, it should be okay. So now you see, this is review stage, again, validation and review. This is basically where you can, now you see, since we splitting existing parcel, the existing one is listed under land parcels, but new ones you will be able to find under affected objects. Maybe I should rename it into affected parcels so that it makes easier. And then you can review information by clicking each of them, right? So let's say complete, that it's all correct. And finally, approval, right? So right now, if you check the map, you'll find that this one is registered and shown in green color. And these two, they are still pending. They're in yellow color. And for pending ones, by the way, you are not able to produce any certificate. So you can just review it, but you cannot do anything here. So let's approve. So now this big transaction will happen. Yeah, so green. Right, print certificate. You see, so next step, since we created 2 new parcels and we registered 2 new customary land rights, we can print a certificate. We click this button and see same pop-up saying for which parcel you want to print this certificate. We say, okay, let's print for this one. And it will produce it for this one. By the way, you see it's showing a little bit. So the system tries to find the best scale so that it's not some ugly scale like, 863. Yeah. So it's the system tries to find the closest nice scale. Yeah. And then it shows at this scale. So we can see that neighboring parcel is there and also a little bit of this one, but we cannot see the number because it's not enough space, I guess, for showing. Yep. And then you do the same for the second one. Now it's showing you the second part. Right. See? Yeah.
When it does this, I see that it creates something called certificate.pdf. Is it easy to make that say, certificate and then have the parcel number attached to it? So the naming convention.
You have a good eye. Where do you see it?
So top left, yeah, certificate.pdf.
Yes, we can do. So basically it's supposed to be printed, of course, but if you want to save it, because it's PDF, so you can actually download it. Yeah. So if for some reason you want to save it and then print it on some different machine, I don't know, or send it to someone for printing, then yeah, you can download it, and maybe it makes more sense to include a parcel number, right?
Yeah, I think I'd prefer to make sure that that happens. Otherwise, if and as people send, if it's easy enough to create parcel number there.
At UPI. Oh, to certificate. Let me just check what was the error. Check new customary. There was an error of selecting
When you select a parcel.
There was selecting parcel, maybe historic with historic. There was some issue there as well. Yeah, that can be done. So once it is done, you just complete this step. And as I said, this is just a part of the workflow, but you can use parcel search. Actually, it's a customary land rights search because it's searching more for the land rights, really not the parcel. So through that search, you can locate the parcel and print the certificate from there as well. So this is like a backup option for post-transaction issues. Right, so we complete printing certificate step. And we can complete the whole application. So now this application is quite interesting. If you check affected objects, you will see 3 different parcels. So the original one was, well, I call it terminated, and the 2 new ones were created. So you can review it, like let's open it in the new tab. So you see that this 222.333 is now historic in attributes, and all the rights are historic now. So we don't have any registered rights for this parcel. Yeah, but you still go into the customary land rights and review the whole attributes. And also if you check the map, yeah, you see that it highlights it with blue. So that was original shape. So now there is a total mess. There is a big one, then small one, and then there is 2 new ones. That's why history definitely have to be removed from this story. At least have to be as a separate layer so that it's easy. Right. If I turn it off, you see it's again like kind of gray color. So it's gray on gray, 2 times gray. So it's not really clear now. But if I click open any of these ones, I'll see that it's active, which means registered, and it has registered land right for this Sam Smith. And if I go to the map, I'll see that is this piece of land here.
Yep.
And if I turn it off, I see that my GeoServer layer shows it in green color as well, which means it's a registered parcel. And yeah, as I said, I can print certificate because I have this permission and I have registered right, so I can print certificate, reprint, let's say, if it's required. So this is how you do parcel division. If I do parcel merging in the same area, it will be a total mess, I guess, but we can try. So let's subdivide. Maybe we should subdivide the one which is a bit higher on top. Let me check which one of those. Yeah, this one. So let's subdivide this parcel number.
We've just subdivided. Don't you want to?
We subdivided. Oh, sorry, right. So we should now merge, right?
Yep.
So let's merge. It's 999 and 888. Let's see how merge works.
Combination.
Combination, we call it. So same thing. We pick up chiefdom, and now we should pick up land parcels. You see now I can. Let me search.
Let's search by parcel. I haven't seen you search by parcel
let's
yet.
search for this guy. So you see many parcels, so I can select one, but I can skip it, for instance, and I can use search now. So this is one of those which we just created. So you see, it showed me actually that it's Sam Smith. So I can say, okay, this one. And you see search available again because it's a combination, so you can have multiple parcels. And I think there was something like 888. No. Oh, 7. Should remove 7. No. Oh, it was 999. Okay. So I'm merging back these two parcels again. Can be more. Same story actually, but now we adding multiple parcels and we'll be creating only one parcel. So it's a complete reverse action. So let's save it. Complete application drafting. Yes. And again, we proceed with the map. It takes us, you see what was my confusion is not highlighting in blue, but it's showing you actually the location and showing you those parcels. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was confused a little bit because I couldn't see green one. So what you have to do if you want to match your boundaries and do it on the map, I mean, alternatively, as I said, we can extract the boundary from ODK and use this import polygon and insert it here. Yep. But otherwise, you can do it just manually on the map as well. So I use this snapping tool and pick up my one parcel and then second parcel. So this orange boundary means these shapes, they will be available for snapping. And then when I start drawing, I can do it exactly on the boundary. You see? But I don't know, not to create the total mess, let me do it slightly differently so that at least we can see at least part of the boundary we will be able to see, I'm sure. So like this one. So it will be new parcel number. I don't know, 6. Blend use, date. And maybe let me even adjust it a little bit more, making it like, I don't know, this shape. Okay, save. So new parcel is ready. You can see the old ones and affected objects. You can see new one. And then we go for edit tenure. So there is no pop-up because it's only one parcel. So it automatically takes you to the right one. Mm-hmm. And we create new owner. Let's say bot. So who is going to be new owner? Let's search one. Let's use this Salem again and save it. Save it and go back on application. So you see it's pending, parcel is pending because we are still working on this new customer land right. Yeah. Right, so I complete the preparation of changes, which means I've created all the changes which are supposed to go into the system, but they're all pending. It goes to the validation step, review and validation, if it's all okay. By the way, we should think maybe of, I don't know, maybe you want to go back to the previous step from this validation to make corrections, or you want to have access to these editing functions, I mean, editing map and tenure. So this is, you let me know. Because so far it's just basically validating information. So complete. Yeah. Now at this step, we either reject or approve. So if it's something wrong, you can completely reject and it will remove all pending parcels and all pending customary land rights. So the original ones, they will stay registered and active. But if we approve, it will make all these changes. So now these two parcels are historic, and yeah, they are now terminated and new one is created. And if I print a certificate, I'll find this Salem and I'll find my new shape. You see?
Yep.
So certificate is not showing history.
Yeah, of course.
Otherwise, the certificate is showing only registered parcels.
Yep.
Also, the neighboring parcels, it's only registered parcels.
Yep.
Right, so we complete printing and we complete the whole application. And now, as I said, it's the same. So you can see that these two, they will be fully historic. So the parcel itself is historic, and also the tenure right is historic. You see this historic rights table. But still it's in the system so that you can see what was before.
Right.
And if you check map, you'll find what was the boundary. You see?
Clean that up.
Now it's a bit confusing if I turn it off, for instance. You see, it's like overlapping this historic green, so it's really not easy.
Yep.
But anyway, and if we check new one, we'll find that it's active and registered, and print certificate button is available for this one. And this is the shape we created just now. Yeah.
Sure.
So too much changes now in this region.
Okay.
So this is how it works. And all these things, I mean, historic, active, pending, you can see from the map, of course. The map is customized. I increased a little bit zoom size, but this zoom size is still huge. I think starting from, yeah, for the chiefdom boundary is this kind of level. So.
And there's no background imagery on the certificate?
No, this is what we discussed about this Google layers, because they're a bit tricky. And I think you said that it's not really too much needed to have this background.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be resistance because people are used to it, but too bad.
You know, I have example from Namibia. We introduced the certificate with the background.
Yeah.
And but yeah, they were not using Google. They were using their own imagery.
Yeah.
And now after I don't know how many years, 5-6 years, they came back to me saying like, oh, you know that our imagery is a bit outdated, and also something wrong with accuracy, etc., etc. And they are now asking me to implement a different option, maybe Google layers, or maybe I don't know, some free repositories of the imagery. And then I said, look, guys, in Namibia, it's like you know, savanna.
It all looks the same.
Almost same color. There are no good features around. I mean, why do you need this imagery? Just skip it, because it's changing. And you know, the thing is that it's changing over the year. Yeah. It could be either green, fully green, or it could be like a desert.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the things that don't change though are some of the access and road, you know, to the extent.
Yeah. That's not changed. Yeah, that's true.
Not as much.
I don't know. We have coordinates, so you can actually pick up a coordinate and just I don't know, insert it in Google, and it will take you to that place. So.
Okay.
So what I wanted to show, that you see this kind of history through the map. You can just click on it, but now it could be a little bit confusing because so far, as I said, I should probably give a priority to the registered ones, because if you click in this area, it shows this parcel.
Yeah, the underlying one.
Yeah, with active status, which is good. But seeing historical one, especially if it's matching the boundary, will be a bit problematic, or we have to work on this tool to allow multiple selection. I mean, to have like some kind of list of parcels matching into this point, and then you click on that parcel and it shows you the, yeah. But you see, like if there are some small space and I click on it, then yeah, I will be able to find the historic one. You see. Yeah, but
Okay.
if it's matching the boundary, unfortunately, the tool is not supporting, like, you know, pre-selection, which one you want to see. It just picks up one from top and then shows summary info. So, but you can use search as well. And you see, we've got now a lot of things happening in the system, and you will find that, for instance, one parcel may appear multiple times, but this is because if you look at the status, some of them are historic, some of them registered, some are still pending. And of course, you can always adjust it. Like, let's say we were having this parcel. Let's say I'm interested in this one. Okay, it's fully historic now, but let's take some other example. Which one? I think we terminated everything already. This one is registered. There's one record now. Yeah. Anyway, you can use just status to filter out which one you want to see. Yeah, so you can see only registered or only historic.
Yeah, those terms are a little bit different because up on the you have active and pending. You know, as those.
Yes, exactly. This is because, you know,
registered versus active.
Yeah. This is because how do you call it? The parcel itself is just a parcel. That's why it's active or historic. But if it's a tenure right, then it's registered.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, if you don't like it, if you want to avoid this confusion, we can change. We can change to.
Yeah, it's all going to be, I won't say a challenge, but it all requires communication with the folks on the ground, and so.
Yeah. So here we're showing actually the status of the right. So maybe I should make it more clear, because of course there is also a status of the parcel itself. Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. One other point, I'm just looking at it, is I look at the selection for users and just like the user, I noticed that there's only date of birth there. It doesn't also have year of birth or age range. Oh, is it? Okay. But I mean, like in the, what would you say? When we're viewing people for selection, no? Like if you go to one of the parcel IDs.
When we search.
Yeah. So, yeah, for a person search. Or even, I think, when it comes up, I know it's in the background information.
No, we have this field.
Right. Yeah, but the vast majority of our people are not going to have a date of birth.
No, it's not a problem.
Yeah. So I know it's just so that, you know, we have the other information. So it's ideal if when people are looking, they can look at that other end if they've got those year of birth as well. Like even just there, because mobile number is going to be very, very rare.
So let's just create a person, Matt.
Okay, so if they do have it, it's going to show up. That's great.
So let's. So there is no ID, you're saying? No.
Yeah,
ID.
let's pretend there's someone without an ID. We only know their year of birth.
But let's say we have a year of this.
Yeah.
I'm making you very young.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Okay, wait, young. That's actually quite close to my age.
Yeah.
It's only 2 years off. You can guess which direction.
Yeah, that means maybe I'm too old now.
I think so. Giving away too much. Okay.
So let's do like that.
Perfect.
And
cool. Okay, so it does show up like that. Great. That's all I needed to know.
So it shows year, and if you now search for Matt.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Cool.
Okay,
There we
that's actually what's showing you today.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good thing. Okay, let me put it in the issues.
I didn't mean to pick up that issue, but
Date of
I do.
birth, year, search.
Yeah, how it displays.
Good. Yeah, of course, I'll change it to. I'll change
Okay.
it to.
But I see
year.
that I see here that
Yeah, yeah,
message,
like
so
here. It
that's great.
will be like here. So it will be
Yep.
showing. It will be showing.
Anything
it will be
from either
showing
of those
whatever
three fields.
is available. So you
Yep.
can even remember the priority is like that. If you
Yep.
fill in all the fields,
Yep.
then date of birth will be used.
Exactly.
But
That's great.
then second year of birth will be used, and last chance is for
Yep.
this one. So you see,
Yep.
it will be showing like
Perfect.
that. Yeah.
That's perfect. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Right. So should we try termination? Because we've got last. Oh, not last. There are two transactions. No, before termination, because I think we terminated almost everything already. Let me see how many registered. Yeah, we've got only 2 parcels with registered rights. Let's use this one. This now is more complicated transaction. So this is rectification. Rectification is the most complicated, at least from the system perspective. Why is it complicated? Is because when we're making changes to the land rights, it's okay. We just make it historic previous one, and we just make registered the one we with the new changes. But if we modify parcel boundary or we modify parcel attributes, that's a more complicated story, because we now have to maintain somehow, at least at the database level, the history of this parcel itself. And you see, as you remember, the hierarchy is like that. The parcel is on the top, and then there are customary land rights under the parcel. And if we modify the parcel itself, it definitely will create a copy if we want to preserve the history. So it will make kind of copy or new parcel. And then what do we do with rights? And that was a dilemma, like, should I make them historic in the previous one and copy over all the rights into the new one? In the end, I decided that maybe it makes sense, since it's still the same parcel, it's just a historic record. So I decided to make modified parcel. Of course, it will be made historic. The new one will be created, and it will be made active. And all the rights I'm copying from the previous state into the new one, and I'm deleting from the previous parcel. I'm deleting these rights, because then it may be confusing you, because if you do search, you'll find multiple rights with the same names, but they will be historic. There could be a situation where it is historic and registered at the same time. You see, because let's say in a simple example, if there is one parcel and one tenure right, let's say for Sam Smith, and then I make modification to the parcel itself, not to the Sam Smith tenure right, but I'm making changes to the boundary, let's say. Yeah. So I will create this new parcel with new boundary. And then, okay, I will copy over Sam Smith into the new one, and it will be with registered status. But then when I approve it, the previous copy, I should probably make historic, because it's like a separate record in the database. So just to avoid this confusion, I just make the parcel historic, and I remove all rights, including historic rights, from that previous copy. But all these rights, they will be available in the new one. Yeah, okay. Which makes sense. So it's basically transferred to the new copy. Yeah. But I'm removing these rights from the previous parcel record, but the parcel record itself stays in the system with historic status, with previous boundary, with previous attributes, etc. So I think it makes more logical, although maybe first time when you hear about it, it's a bit complicated to.
And this is regardless of whether you're changing boundary or just updating people.
Actually, I made it a little bit sophisticated. So if you're making changes only to the tenure right,
yeah,
then the parcel will stay the same because there are no modifications to the parcel itself.
Good.
And this historic table with tenure rights will be just updated, yeah? So the previous tenure will go into the history and the new one will become, again, registered, yeah? So that's easy. There will be just one parcel, but tenure rights, the history will be maintained under this parcel. So that's actually, let's say, a simple case. But if you make changes to the parcel itself, then it will be kind of these things. So two parcels will be created, in fact, in the system. Yeah. But the list of rights will be still available only in one parcel. Yeah. So to avoid this duplication, like having same tenure rights listed under two parcels, but one is historic and one is active. So that's why I decided to remove tenure rights from the historic ones and keep whatever was available to the active one, to the modified one.
Okay.
So I can maybe even show it to you. Let's search for this parcel. So it's Salem is the owner. So let me search for Salem now, this one. And save. Complete. So now you see immediately two buttons are available, and this is your choice,
right?
Which way you will go. If you make any changes through this button, then new parcel will be created. But if you work only with tenure rights, same parcel will be preserved because there are no changes to that one, and only tenure rights will be modified. Actually, let's quickly try both options.
Yeah. And I mean, the tenure rights one is we have dozens and dozens of these waiting, maybe even hundreds. And I think that's really where the focus is. So
yeah. So you see, basically it's now similar to the transfer, but the name of the link is rectify, right? So it's more like from the system perspective, there is no difference. Yeah, it's more like from the business processes or from the legal perspective, this kind of things. So that's why we are not actually supposed to transfer it to completely new person, but we're supposed to make modifications. So I click rectify. And you see it copies over actually all the attributes which were before. So see that occupancy is selected, acquisition is selected. If there were certification date, it would be also available. So everything will be the same as it was or as it is. And this is where you can do your changes. So I can say, okay, now I want to add witness. And also can do changes to the person, but there is a small thing which have to be considered. If I click edit button here, you see, I'm not able to edit attributes.
Okay.
And the reason for it, because this guy appears on the registered record and this history will be preserved. That's why you're not able to change attributes of the person. So what you can do, but still, if you want to change it like Salem, so basically you can just delete this guy or add new one first. So you can say, okay, it's landowner, it's still Salem. There was a small error, Maputio. So that should be Maputo, let's say. So I'm saying this is Maputo, and it has NRC like this, etc., etc. So date of birth. If changes are required for the person, which probably is the case, maybe they want to add more people or they want to add person of interest or whatever, right? So you can all do this through this form. Okay, so address, or actually village is already selected, so it's probably fine. should be Eastern Province. Yeah. Okay. So you see, but now I say, okay, this one is wrong one. So I just remove it from, it's not removing from the system, it's removing from this
record.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
And then I can save. Now you see, basically it's almost same Salem, but the last name is corrected a little bit. Yeah. So this is how it works. That's why we are not modifying, because after approval, this guy will go into the history. So this is for historic, for historic purposes, very useful, because you can say, okay, you see, change of name is quite complicated story. So he will be still popping up in the search, this person. But that's why you have to search for the correct one.
Okay. But so we can't edit names somewhere else for people who have, you know, multiple of the same parcel or something.
We can implement a specific transaction, which is change of name.
Or so like update, editing someone's name, adding more information.
So in that case, you're not modifying other attributes. You will be modifying only. It will be looking the same, but you will be able to change only person name. You will not be able to change attributes like the registration date and what else? The witnesses, the occupancy type.
No, it's just about the party.
Yeah, so potentially we can implement change of name transaction as well. But so far, to keep it simple, let's say, is like that. So both people will be appearing under the search, but again, we can improve the search as well if you wish, which probably makes more sense, in fact, and will be easier and more logical. So let me just show you. So this is a rectification of the tenure right only. I'm not touching map. So if I complete it and complete and approve. So now if I print certificate, this corrected last name, it should be correct. Let's finish transaction. So now this parcel number, of course, if I open it, you will see the history. So you will be able to see what was modified, like what was the, if you open it, you can check who was the owner, who were person of interest, etc., etc. And all the references to the applications, when it was created, when it was kind of canceled or terminated, and then new one as well. So you can see, oh, that's actually have to be removed. Termination application should be removed. It's the same application. Let me put it in the list of issues. Termination application for rectification.
Yeah, if the title is not termination, right? It's just rectification.
No, this registered one, this application number should not appear here. So it was copied over, I guess, from previous one. So let me. Anyway, so this is how you modify your parcel, and it will show you the history. So now you see, if you check this parcel through the search, so it will find two customary land records, which we just seen on the previous form, with one is registered and one with historic status, which is correct. But the parcel itself, in fact, it's only one. So if I check the map, I'll find that this is the one we created before. So let's now quickly do more complicated case when rectification is done both to the attributes, I mean to the parcel itself and to the land rights. Let me search for this parcel. So this is what I was saying, this Salem. You see, it will pop up twice now.
Yeah.
And you see the case, why we cannot really remove it, because potentially this name can be really used in some other cases. But I mean, in your system, it will not happen probably, but while doing testing, you see the old name actually appears on 3 different parcels.
Well, what's interesting about that, and this is decision, I mean, you're showing, it's showing parcel IDs for people who are no longer associated with it. So.
No, he is associated with it. But
I thought you
instance,
took him out. You just,
you see.
So hit active, I guess, actively associated.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's sort of the problem, I guess.
I agree. I agree with you that he is not associated anymore with this one. Well, it's associated on historic record. But maybe for the search, in this specific case where we're searching, you see, we're searching for people, and that's why it's showing showing everything what is relevant to this person. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he is probably he's still active maybe on this one, you see?
Yeah.
So that's why for these complicated things, maybe next step or next iteration, we can implement change of name transaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. For instance, right now in your system, you still have duplications, right?
Oh, yeah, plenty. But that's because we can't confirm that John Smith is the same John Smith.
Yeah. So that's why ideally this rectification should be more about parcel boundary or adding additional person of interest, but not really modifying the owner name.
Correcting names. Okay.
Yeah, for owner name, ideally we should implement the specific transaction which will be modifying this person actually on all records and creating the history for the person name as well.
Right.
So you see, if you're really dealing with history, it makes things more complicated because, okay, you first have to create the history, but then you have to visualize the history as well somehow.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a bit complicated case, but let me pick up this same person again and do rectification. Complete. Now I want to, let me just show you one trick. If I start with tenure and again make changes to this record, okay, I'll keep same guy, but I just make changes to some other attributes. Yeah. Like this. And save it. And go back to application. So now under the application, like in the previous case, it's only this same parcel is modified. And if you check modify affected objects, you'll find that, yeah, this parcel is modified. Yeah. Which means not the parcel itself, basically, but also tenure rights mainly. But now if I go to the map and make changes on the map, I can even keep same shape, but I can edit attributes. Let's say by, I know by what reason I want to modify the attributes. Maybe land use is different. I know, commercial. Okay, but I can change boundary as well. So if I select edit shape, and I can say, okay, let me pick up one for snapping historic one, and then edit shape, and I want to snap to this corner, for instance. This is correct shape now. So it is saved, and go back and check affected objects. So now it's more interesting. So you see same ID because same parcel number.
Yep.
But in reality, there are two different records. So one is with all the tenure rights and old boundary, and this is new one, which is going to be created. Yeah. If you check it right now, at this moment, at this point in time, you'll find that, yes, it's pending. And you can see that, yes, the boundary is like that now, affected. Mm-hmm. So we snap it to the corner.
Yep, there's no rights associated with it.
Exactly. So if you check registered or historic, you will not find any tenure rights. You see?
Yep.
So the magic will happen upon approval. So if we are done with this more complicated rectification and we complete it, and we confirm validation, and this is where it happens, we approve changes. So now it's very interesting. If we print a certificate for this case, you'll find that the shape is new and the owner is there. Mm-hmm. So if we check now affected objects, we'll find that, remember, that one was created through this transaction, and same UPI, same parcel ID is terminated. Yeah. So if we check this one, it's now reverse picture. So the previous one is now historic and there are no rights. So this is to avoid duplication when you do search or whatever. But if you check this one, so all rights were actually migrated into this new parcel. Although it's the same parcel ID, but technically it's a new record. And we can see actually that this record was created through this application. If we check previous one, we see that it was created by application 24. This one is created by application 26. And this one was terminated by 26. This is how you can actually link them together, saying like, okay, why this one is historic? Then you can check application because it was terminated, which means became historic. You can check this application and you can see, oh, that was rectification. And what was done under the rectification? Oh, under rectification, the new one was created. So this is how you can investigate kind of what happened. But the thing is that, you see, the previous one became historic and I removed all the rights because all the rights were migrated into the new one. I think it's more logical if we, instead of keeping, you know, making everything historic here so that all tenure rights will be in the historic table. And then if you check here, it will be also like the current one is registered. But if I terminate everything and keep it historic, then you will see the current one as historic under this record, which will totally confuse you. Yeah, that's why, since we are terminating the parcel itself, I decided that, okay, land rights shouldn't be suffering. They shouldn't be changed to historic. And I decided just to transfer over. Yeah. Because in fact, we were just modifying this parcel boundary. That's why it now on the map, you can see it on the map that it's historic now. Yeah. So remember that corner was here. So if I turn it off, you'll find it's historic color now, you see? Yeah. But this new one, now, as I said, it's a bit of mix of everything. It's now showing as historic as well because too much history now. So definitely, it should be green. It should be green color. But it's all historic now.
The overlay. Yep.
Yeah. But the blue one highlights you actually the actual boundary, which a little bit better. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is the case where parcel itself is modified. So,
and I don't see very many of that happening.
Yeah, that's good. But still, the system will keep this history, and potentially with the next round of improvements, what we can do, we can even link the historic one with active one. I mean, like this one, yeah, like we have termination reference to the applications. So we may have a reference to the new parcels for historic, and we can reference maybe historic for the new ones, so that you can have a link directly from these records.
Yeah.
But they are linked through the application. They are linked. You can just open application and see what happened. So you will find the previous one and you will find the current one under this application.
Yeah.
So this is rectification. It's a bit, as I said, it's okay with tenure rights. It goes easier, but with the modification of the parcel, it will create duplication of the parcel itself.
Yeah.
But one will be historic and another one will be active.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm actually going in now and looking at the range of applications we have already. Let me see. Okay, great.
And yeah, last application is very easy. It's termination, as you understand. So let's terminate this one. Surrender and termination. So maybe we should keep one of those. It's a bit long name. So let's pick up same parcel ID. And the owner. Let's find. Oh, you see now. Not searching by ID. Well, what is it? Applicant search, yeah.
Parcel ID search now.
I'm searching applicant by parcel ID.
Yeah.
And search by parcel. Okay, let's see. Manually seeing this one. Oh, that was the same error in the beginning. So what's happening? Let me pick up this Salem again. Huh. Interesting.
Was that a parcel that you had just deleted? Maybe it's linking to one of the former parcels.
Yeah, I'm just thinking whether it's an issue with historical status or.
Right. Try selecting Mary's. Well, I know Mary's is historical. We only have one live one, right, at the moment.
I think Salem is the owner now. Because if I search.
Didn't you just update his?
You see, so
some
this
details
is the guy.
coming?
This is the guy
Okay.
who is registered on this parcel. So it should work, but I don't know why it's not working. If I pick up this one, parcel was not found. Interesting. Anyway, let's attach it through the parcel search for now, and I'll check what was the issue. With termination, potentially you can terminate multiple parcels. So this is similar to merging, yeah, to combination. So if by any reason, I don't know, you have multiple parcels and you want to terminate all those, as I said, maybe if you decide that if there are two parcels for one person and you want to terminate first and then register a new one, so this is the case. So you can, in one transaction, you can terminate one or multiple parcels. Yeah, but we're doing it with one parcel. Save it and yeah, complete. So this is super easy transaction because termination doesn't require you to provide any information. You just reference the parcel which you want to terminate, yeah, you can attach documents, but otherwise you don't do any editing of tenure, or you don't do any editing of map. You just say, okay, I want to terminate this one. And complete. Yeah, you see, approve. And also you can notice that there is no step for printing a certificate, because we're not producing any certificates for terminated parcels, of course. And complete application. So basically 2 steps were out comparing to some other transactions. One is preparation of changes, because we are not doing any changes. And also printing certificate step is also out of this transaction as well. Right, so now this parcel referenced here, it's also referenced here, and it's marked as terminated. So you can see that it's historic, and we have now, before we did 2 transactions and these historic records were produced, I think one was transfer, one was rectification, and this one is termination. Yeah. But you can trace the full history, that how it was created, how it was terminated, and also you can trace the history of every right, like this one was created through this one, terminated through this one, etc. That was created with 24, terminated with 25. This one was created with 25, terminated with 26. And this one was created with 26 and terminated with 27. Because we did it one by one, that's why the numbers are like that. Otherwise, of course, there will be different numbers. I mean, there will be not sequential numbers. So this is termination. Now this parcel is fully terminated. If I search it, parcel ID, I can see that all the, well, it's searching, as I said, basically for customary land rights, and they are all historic. And if I check it on the map, now, of course, we know that it's a total mess now on the map. Yeah, but it's all historic now here in this region. There are no green parcels anymore. Yeah, but yeah, you can still locate it through the search, through the application, or even from the map. But with the map, as I said, it could be a little bit confusing, because if there are multiple historical records, only the top one will be picked up, like in this case.
Yep.
Oh, actually interesting. Now you see it found out the one we rectified. Oh, it was previous one. No, it's previous one. It's like 55, 50, 54, 54 something. So it's not our parcel. So we were clicking
Something else.
Yeah. So this is our parcel, like 666,888.
Yeah.
But if I click here, it's also same. But if I click here, it's now
almost
different.
as many confusing rights as we have in our actual database. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, from the map, of course, it's a little bit difficult with historic records. With registered ones, pending ones, it's easy, because they always exist in one instance, right? There couldn't be multiple pending for the same parcel, or it couldn't be multiple registered for the same parcel, but it can be multiple historic for the same parcel. That's why historic records, as I said, we should handle it a little bit more carefully. I mean, putting a different layer, and also maybe this pop-up should be also giving the priority to our. You know, actually, I can check in the list of. This is my guess. I don't know how GeoServer works, but I think if I put historic on top, maybe even in this layer, the green one will be having the priority. Yeah. Right now, I think the historic one takes the priority. It's showing last.
Somehow. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, I do have to run to another meeting. So yeah, is there much more at the moment to demo, do you think, or?
No. That's actually the main
Mainly-
purpose was show you all the transactions. Now
Yep.
I see there are still few issues. I'll definitely fix them.
Right.
And then let me know how we proceed. I can publish it to your server for playing with the system.
Right.
And
yeah, let's do that so that we can play with this empty one. But then next week when Kalma's back, let's look at any of the data upload pieces that need to happen, just so we make sure that we get things straight on the photos or any documentation stuff. Yeah, if that makes sense.
so what do you think? Maybe I should now we have more complicated cases, but typically I think you have tenure rights registered just for one person or for one group of people, right? I mean, I know
Yeah,
how
I
many.
mean that's where it usually is. Each parcel and the tenure rights are independent, but going forward, we'll be selecting from individuals. So it will look. There's going to be some challenges here because we've got, if you search for Sam Smith, there's going to be 20 of them.
Yeah.
And multiple of those are going to be correct, but that's, I guess, just the way it is. So that's the only challenge, or that's the main challenge I see there.
Yeah, the straightforward approach would be, of course, maybe not to use search too much. That was one of the worries, but we discussed really. Maybe whatever you change or create in the system, you just capture.
Well, I think the other priority, we noted that the priority is for NRC numbers.
Oh yeah, that's all considered. So for instance,
but the second priority could be for the more applicants. So or the number of parcels. So we preferentially search if someone has an ID number, and then that rises to the top, and it rises more to the top as an individual has more parcels. So,
well, at least right now, as we discussed, the priority with searching is, well, first of all, we allow selection only those persons who has ID.
Yep.
And then second criteria is the role. So we showing now landowners first.
Yep.
Yeah, and then person of interest and other guys will be listed. So at least from this perspective, of course,
but I guess what I would also then suggest, just for ease, is that if a person has more parcels, then that rises to the surface. That way, even if we do have duplicates of Alex, as we continue, the protocol is to select the first correct one so that we strengthen the, I don't know if you see what I'm saying.
Well, you see, whatever the way we proceed, definitely, if they will want to develop this system further and really make it kind of more stable, sophisticated, and reliable in terms of the data, I think we will end up with this exercise of cleaning these individuals and landowners in general, to make sure that to introduce the uniqueness, right?
Yeah. So, and that's something, it's I don't know if that's a module that happens as time goes on, every time someone new comes in.
That's normal, it's in all systems. I can see it in all systems. I just like in, I don't know, in Pakistan, in Nepal, in India, it's the same story everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So, but at least once they reach, to the certain level where they feel that they can do it, for instance, national ID number is introduced and it's really mandatory everywhere. And over the time, these records are updated with these numbers. So then they decide, okay, let's do cleaning.
Right.
So they do cleaning, and maybe after that, if it's really done perfectly and 100%, they can really introduce those rules where duplication is not possible anymore. And
Yeah.
I mean, change of name transaction really can be implemented well, you know, that you're really modifying the right record.
Yeah.
And the history is somehow preserved. So,
but does that usually, and that happens outside, the whole data is done, it's taken out and then re-imported back in, is that right?
yeah, you see, here the priority is the certificate. So the main goal is actually to have correct data on the certificate. So this is number one thing. But then, as I said, once it's all good and it's working and they feel that it can be replicated to other regions and improved and et cetera, then of course we can think about the uniqueness of people in the database, in the system. But so far, yeah, I mean, we can of course work now on the change of name transaction, but it's going to be also quite complicated because, as I said, for instance, if John Smith is owning like 10 parcels, right? Change of name will not help you with all 10. So basically what we did, I think in Tanzania, the change of name transaction is actually supposed to really, you know, go through and do change of name for every property.
Yep.
So it cannot be done like that. Okay, I just changed John Smith and John Smith is changed everywhere. So basically you have really to find the property where you want to change the name. But you see, even this one, okay, we can support them in this one, but still it doesn't solve the issue of uniqueness. So in Tanzania, they can really change the name in 10 different records if the guy was really recorded 10 times. But these 10 times will remain. So if he will come tomorrow and say, I want to change the name again, then they will do it 10 times again. So that's why it's kind of outside of the system. So the cleaning and uniqueness, it should be done as a separate exercise, you know. It's really.
Okay, well, that's not for now. We're gonna live with how it is, I guess. So cool. All right.
So
well,
let me continue working on the fixing, and then once it is more stable, I think I'll publish it to a server.
Okay.
And next week, I don't know, maybe we can have another session for short training, or I don't know who's going to test the system from your side. Kaoma, other guys, you.
Ariel Kaoma, and we'll probably get a few people from the our partners in Zambia to look at it. But also, I mean, I think for us, we just want to look at the data upload needs for your scripts and whatnot, so that we make sure that we've got it organized what we need, because we have more data than is in that administrative DB. We just want to make sure that we've got it in the right way. So let's have that conversation on Tuesday.
I'm already looking into this data migration scripts. I'll check whether it's possible to do just using PostgreSQL itself. If it's too much complicated and or maybe not too much reliable, because you know what may happen, like when you're loading, and then some error happens in the middle. So what should you do? Roll back everything, or just roll back this record, or okay, roll back this record and record it to some log table or what? So today, tomorrow, I'll still research it. If it's possible, then I'll do with SQL scripts. If it's not possible, then I'll have to develop a small application, which will be kind of having more control over these things.
Okay.
With some user interface as well.
All right. Ariel, Megan, any questions from your side at the moment?
I'm good, but yeah, I'm excited to take a deeper look at it, maybe suggest some things to make it a little bit more user-friendly, like having some next buttons or a way to track where you are in the application beyond just where you currently are, so you can kind of see what you're missing and what's up ahead.
Yeah, I think that was also my main worry, Alex, is sometimes as you were slipping between screens, the workflow became a little bit unclear, but I think you were doing it quickly and you were filling like 5 different functions because you was using a super user. I'm hopeful that as we name different roles and we can play out the cases, Ariel, that it'll be a little bit more clear.
Yeah, and plus a little bit more training. Of course, looking at demo with showing everything in 1 hour is difficult, of course, to learn it immediately. But you'll find that it's quite logical because it's all done through the application. And then, as you can see, when you're working, when application takes you, let's say, to the parcel form or the customer land rights, then you'll see that there is always a button to go back on the application. So you don't need to kind of go back to the dashboard or do search. So there is always a button like if you are in the transaction mode, kind of, there is a button to go back on application form. And then once you are on the application form, the toolbar actually automatically tells you what you can do in this at this point in time, at this workflow step, and considering your permissions, considering application status. So just a little bit more training and you'll find that it's not that bad.
I know, I agree. I think great to see its progress. And I think once we click around inside, we'll maybe have some more constructive feedback. Because yeah, like Ariel, I was kind of thinking of some sort of tracker bar at the top, kind of like when you have things in your online shopping cart of, you know, you're at this step out of 4 and some sort of illustration of that. But yeah, hard to maybe it's clear when you're not on a super user account. So look forward to being able to click around inside and see what we see. So thanks for all your work, Alex.
Yeah. So I don't know if you are, I mean, if Kaoma and other guys, they're sitting in one office, I don't know, maybe if Kaoma is more technically prepared, I can spend more time on training him, and maybe once he understands how the system works, he can provide this further training and assistance to other people, you know, I know. So that's somehow we should also think about training.
Yeah, I do think that any documentation and backup Ariel is doing the documentation for us for the
documentation, the user guide will be there.
Yeah, I mean more of like the communication type training and sort of resources that are more easily accessible, I'd say, than the user guide.
Yeah, exactly. Because I will not produce like you know,
cheat sheets.
It's like how do you call it, the training courses, right? Where you really say, okay, let's do this one, like step 1, step 2, step 3. So that definitely maybe somebody can help with.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Ariel, once we like get the system tighter, that like you or I could work on like kind of a 1-pager on like how to add parcels, how to update names, how to merge parcels, just like, you know, our most common workflows, just kind of having a 1-page cheat sheet, I think is probably helpful as we hand this off to others.
Good.
Cool. Okay, yeah, so keep the 3 of us involved. I will share this recording with Kalma, and hopefully you'll be able to watch it on Monday. As exciting as it is to watch a 2-hour demo. Hi, Kalma, if you hear this, I'll buy you a drink next time we're in Lusaka. So, okay, great. Thanks for keeping on working on that, and we'll talk about migration on Tuesday. And whenever you're ready, feel free to upload to our server. Let us know, and we can start to mess around. Just to get comfortable.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
watching this demo for 2 hours.
It's exciting.
Great. Thanks all.
Okay. Bye bye.
Appreciate it, Alex. Thanks.
Bye. Bye.